47, 45, 47. Come on. Trump go. Let's go, Trump. Phân roll vô. Here.
We are here.
Club 45. Yeah. Let's go. Let's go. About 5,000. No, not like that. Just record it. Yeah. Just right now, about maybe 5,000 people here already.
At least.
Yeah, at least. So far, so good. Okay. Let's go, Fun Royo. Trump. Yes, Trump.
Over here. Yeah. You got it.
You got it.
We love our Trump.
Yep.
USA! 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 They don't want to talk. Goodness, I got a set of lungs on it.
Đó, số lượng người càng đông này quý vị. Quá trời luôn. Giờ này tới giờ này là đã 1 giờ rồi. Trời bắt đầu chuyển mưa. Quý vị. Bên ngoài kia người ta vẫn bắt đầu tiếp tục đi vô quý vị. Và kịch là phu ra tới ngoài này luôn rồi. Giờ tiếp tục đi vô. Ước lượng cũng là trên 5-6 ngàn người rồi quý vị. Rất là đông. Đó, mọi người đó. Rất là đông. Quá trời đông luôn nè. Mọi người càng ngày càng đông lên quý vị. Số lượng rất là đông. Đó, thank you.
I don't know nothing. All I know is I'm up here. I
Thank
hear
you, everyone.
this. I did hear this. We're going to get you up there. That's all I know.
After chờ đợi nè. Bây giờ we already in. Camera in. Time to get in quý vị ơi. Quý vị bây giờ vô early quý vị. Nên mọi người chỉ có vậy thôi. Ta còn vô sớm. Được ngồi ở đây, tổng thống này cũng rất là gần. Xung quanh mọi người ngồi. Chút xíu nữa là sẽ phu mấy chỗ này giờ, tại vì bên ngoài còn rất là đông. Đây là dưới này floor.
That there's one true and living God. His name is Jesus. Can we pray? Because I'm going to tell you right now,
Yes.
Donald Trump loves God.
Yeah.
He loves God. Is there anybody happy and believing that Donald Trump will fight for religious freedoms in America? No. Matter of fact, the liberals are trying to take God out of our Pledge of Allegiance. Have you heard that? South Carolina, will you ever get behind anybody that will disrespect God by taking him out the Pledge of Allegiance? That's why I'm here to tell everybody that I, Pastor Mark Burns, pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation.
Under God, indivisible.
God bless you, America. God bless you, South Carolina. Help me re-elect the next president of the United States of America, Donald J.
College Republicans, Trevor Tiedemann, to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
name is Trevor. I'm with the Clemson College Republicans. We're proud to endorse President Trump, even out the alma mater of Nikki Haley, to show her that we are supporters of President Trump. We're going to dominate her tomorrow. Nearest flag, let's say the pledge of allegiance together. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands,
One nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
God bless Christ is King.
Thank you. Yeah. Hey. Hello, Terry.
I love you too.
Oh, yeah.
South Carolina, you have an amazing job to do tomorrow.
Oh, yes.
You're going to be the voice of the American people that's going to tell the Washington, D.C. establishment that we want President Trump back at the White House.
Yes.
Now, you know what else is important to say? You're going to be delivering the message. You're delivering the message that we are not going to tolerate nor elect a presidential candidate that is delusional about her chances of becoming president. Am I right?
Yes.
You're going to get the message to Washington, D.C. that you will not be supporting your former governor, who is the Democrat rubber-stamped presidential candidate in the Republican primary. No, we're electing President Trump, and I can't wait to see South Carolina deliver that message. Now, we know who President Trump is. The Democrats and the establishment voices in the media, they're trying to call him a dictator. Oh, really? We've heard those lies before. They're bringing back the Russia collusion 2.0 lies again. But we had President Trump as our president for 4 years. And for 4 years, he was the greatest president we ever had in United States history. Under President Trump, we can afford gas, we can afford food, we can afford rent, we can afford medication, and we had hope for the future. Under President Trump, it was America's border that mattered, not foreign countries' borders, not foreign wars. And under President Trump, again, in his next administration, he will put the American people first. He will put America first. And he will deliver the message to the establishment in Washington, D.C. as your voice, the voice of the American people, and not the other way around.
Talent finalist Benton Blunt to sing our national anthem.
Hello.
Can you see by the thoughts of midnight what surrounding we have at the twilight's last gleaming, the moon of stars and bright stars to the neck of the side. Oh, the ramparts we watch, bursts of skylights be streaming. When the rockets get there, the bombs bursting in, get through
Rock Hill, South Carolina.
Yeah!
You know, Rock Hill, before I begin, I told this section in the arena today that I was going to shout them out. And they're going to send a message to the entire United States of America that Donald Trump is going to be the 47th president of the United States.
Yeah! Calm down.
Everybody bring it down. Keep calm. Section 102, let me hear you. You know, I've only said about 15 words, but let me tell you something. Section 102 sounds like the voice of South Carolina. And it sounds like the voice that's going to tell Nikki Haley that this primary contest is over.
Yeah!
You know, Raquel, something funny happened out in Nevada. About 2/3 of Nevada voters said that they wanted none of the above before they wanted Nikki Haley. One in the United States of America, and it is people all across our country, white, black, Republican, Independent, Democrat, they are looking at Joe Biden and they are saying this man is a catastrophe, give us Donald Trump back.
Yeah!
There are ladies in Chicago, Illinois who have been voting Democrat for a generation, and they're saying to themselves right now, the Democrat Party has failed them, and it's about time that we start voting Republican because we know that Donald J. Trump will secure this border. Right. They're saying in every state of our country that this inflation that was unleashed by Joe Biden and the radical Democrats is hurting everybody. And we know there's a guy who can get our economy back on track, and his name is Donald J. Trump.
Yeah!
Our allies all over the globe are saying, this man is soft, this man is weak, he can't even find his way off the stage, and we need real American leadership back, and that man is Donald J. Trump.
William Timmons.
Well, hello, Rock Hill. It's a great day to elect Donald Trump again. You know, it really is an honor to be here to help welcome him to Rock Hill, South Carolina. We are one day away from sending the message that hopefully Nikki Haley will hear and will cause her to suspend her campaign like every single other Republican candidate and then endorse Donald Trump for president. I want to talk about how he got here. So, 2016, Obama had been in office for 8 years. He had told the world that America is not special. He had told the world that we are sorry for being exceptional. He was anti-American. And Donald Trump was a billionaire living in New York and Florida, having homes all over the world. And he said, this just isn't right. This just isn't right. And instead of living his life without all of the problems he's had the last decade, he came down the elevator in Trump Tower and he said something real simple. We're going to make America great again.
Yes, sir.
And I got to tell you, that may be the best slogan, the best advertisement in the history of mankind. Because listen, it tells you this. America was great. It is not great. And we're going to make it great again. And so what did he do? He ran a race. The media gave him the hardest time in the whole world. The polls said he had no chance. Hillary Clinton was going to continue this American apologist tour that Obama had. But what happened? The American people spoke and sent him to the White House. And for 4 years, we were prosperous. He unlocked American energy. He reformed the tax code to make U.S. businesses competitive in the global economy. He secured the border. And then, well, before I move on, our allies in the global community trusted us. Our enemies feared us. And then,
and our veterans to be respected once again. Do you want the American dream to be closer for our children or further away? So what are we going to do, South Carolina? We are going to bring it home tomorrow. We want to make sure you take 10, 15, 20 people. Do not think because the polls are so high that the president doesn't need you. Because President Trump needs us all. We need to make sure we win, and we win big here in South Carolina. We want to send a message. We want to send a message to the White House that we are done with their failed policies. We are tired of the fact that our bank accounts are going down. Our 401ks are going down and gas prices are going up. If we want our gas prices to go down, if we want to drill, baby, drill, what are we going to do? South Carolina, you are wonderful. I'm your 93rd Lieutenant Governor. It is my honor to serve you. Thank you so much for being here. Thank you for supporting our president. God bless the great state of South Carolina, and God bless this great nation.
Let me do a quick survey. How many of y'all are here for 4 more years of Donald? Absolutely. I gotta say, when you look at the Joe Biden economy, it is devastating. You gotta boo! I hear you. It's devastating young Americans. But when we were under President Donald Trump, we had 2% inflation. We also, with Donald Trump, we had a closed southern border. We need a president who respects this nation enough to close our southern borders and save American lives. we don't take care of South Carolina, we can't help any other country on the planet. We must take care of America and South Carolina. I want a president who will restore law and order in our country.
Yes!
We need a president who respects law enforcement. We don't want a president who defunds the police. We want a president who refunds the police. To every law enforcement officer here today, let us thank them for their service right now. President Trump gave our military a 9% increase in pay. President Trump loves our military. We deserve a commander-in-chief with a backbone. We deserve a commander-in-chief who brings us world peace. We deserve President Donald J. Trump. I'm about out of time. Let me close with this. Tomorrow, I can't hear you. Tomorrow, let South Carolina send a message to all America. The Republican primary is over. Yeah!
We've had fun, everybody. You know what? How'd you like Texas Roadhouse? I think I like the better than Texas.
Mấy mặt lại non không? Tầm mấy cái phần rồi
and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage South Carolina Governor Henry McMaster.
How are we doing, South Carolina? Are we ready for the man? I'll be brief. I just returned from 2 days in Washington, D.C., our nation's capital. We had a number of governors up there. We go from time to time to meet with administration officials. We did it in the Trump administration, and we had a wonderful time. Well, we just got back from the meeting with the Biden administration.
Fight Biden! Fight Biden!
And you know what we found out? We found out that the border crisis is caused by, guess what? Climate change. I ain't making that up. Secretary Mayorkas told us that himself. The border crisis is caused by climate change.
Time to change!
Well, we got a secret weapon, and it ain't a secret. He's gonna fix all that, and I'll tell you what he's gonna do.
Yeah!
You know, y'all remember the... We want a man who will get the woke out of the military and put the fight back in.
Yeah!
We want to put judges in the courts to protect the Constitution and enforce the law.
Yeah!
And we want a man who will show our enemies abroad that America is standing back up, and it's time for them to sit back down. And so now, it is my great privilege to introduce to you the one man on this earth who needs no introduction anywhere. That is the one and only, the man who has, can, and will make America great again, Donald J. Trump! There are a lot of people outside that can't get in, but would anybody like to give up their space? I was going to say seat. There are too many seats here. We have a full house times maybe 3, because outside you have another couple of houses full of people. We love them. And we're providing audio for them outside, but I think you have a better location. Hello, South Carolina. I'm thrilled to be back in this incredible, beautiful state with thousands of proud, hardworking, God-fearing American patriots. That's what you are. You know, the last time I was in this arena was a time, very good time in a sense. The country wasn't doing well. By the way, compared to today, it was doing great. You know, we had a border problem, but that was like a peanut. We solved that problem pretty quickly. That was like a peanut problem. Remember, I came out, I said, the border, they're having problems. They've got rapists, they've got thugs, they've got this. And everybody said, what horrible things. We were right about that one, too. What we said was nothing by comparison to the fact. But what we have now is a total disaster. This is far, far worse. And you know, we solved that border problem. We solved that border problem, and in 2020, where we got millions more votes, by the way, just for those that are interested.
Yes!
But we solved that border problem, and I said, let's talk about the border. They said, sir, nobody cares about the border because you've solved the problem. I said, no, don't they want to listen? So I talked about the border. Nobody cared about the border because we solved the problem. But we were in here at the beginning of 2016 in the same arena in January of 2016. Think of that. And so I guess it's a lucky arena. And we're going to see if it's lucky or not. We're going to see if it's lucky or not. Because they steal and they cheat and they do a lot of bad things, but we're going to win this. We're going to win it bigger than ever before. There's never been before. Tomorrow you will cast one of the most important votes of your entire life. And honestly, we're not very worried about tomorrow. We want to aim toward a time called November 5th. That's what we need, November 5th. Gotta beat rookie Joe Biden, if it's going to be him. I don't know if he's going to make it to the starting gate. I don't know about that, Henry. Is he going to make it to the starting? Henry would know. Has he been a great governor, by the way? That was a big part of the equation. I said, I'm going to move her up, make him governor.
Yes!
And I did you a big favor. But we're going to have a gigantic victory here in South Carolina. We're going to show crooked Joe Biden and the radical left Democrats that we are coming like a freight train in November. Nikki Haley is relying on Democrats and liberals. You know, Democrats are financing.
Sit down.
It's called the crazy world of politics. No, the Democrats are financing her campaign. One of her biggest supporters is a radical left Democrat who made some money with the internet. A very bad guy, actually, but he's a Democrat. And those are the ones putting up money because they damage us. The biggest supporters she's got right now are the Biden supporters, the Biden bundlers, the Biden cheaters. They're the ones that are doing it for victory. So if you don't want the ultra-left to meddle in this primary, and I think they're going to try and end it, who the hell wants Democrats voting in a Republican primary? What is that about? What is that about? Don't worry, you're going to swamp them. You're going to swamp them.
Yeah!
Yes, we're going to do great tomorrow, but it's really important you get out and vote because we want to send a signal to the real hardline people, the people that are destroying our country, Joe Biden. We're going to send them a signal that we're coming. We're going to send them a big, so get out tomorrow. If you don't feel well, don't worry about it. Get up, get out. If your husband's not feeling good, darling, I'm just not. Just get him out of bed. Don't worry about it. Get out and vote. Tomorrow we're going to win this state, and then we're going to tell crooked Joe Biden, you're fired. Get out of here. in any campaign. You know, we're 9 months away. It's not like, gee, we're going to vote tomorrow. Tomorrow's your big day. You're going to vote in a primary tomorrow. But the big day is November 5th. Nobody has ever seen spirit like this. This is like, for some people, think of it. Nobody would have a crowd like this anyway, even if it was the day before the election. But this is like the day before the election stuff. The saddest thing is we have 9 months to go. And the kind of stupidity and destruction that they have and can cause is just mind-boggling. So we have to just hope that this time flies, because we have to take over. They're going to destroy this country. We're going to end up in a world war. We'll end up in World War III. They'll destroy our country. We have to get out. We have to win. Under the Trump administration, you were better off. Your family was better off. Your neighbors were better off. Your communities were better off. And our country was far, far, far better off, that's for sure. America was stronger and tougher and richer and safer and more confident. Think of it, we've lost our confidence as a country. How about that? You know, I've said that in a lot of speeches, we've lost our confidence. What a horrible thing to attribute to our country, that we've lost our confidence, and we will. We have no leadership. We're not respected any place in the world. But I'm more confident than ever that we will soon be sitting behind that beautiful Resolute desk in the Oval Office. And we'll bring it back. Because together we built the greatest economy in the history of the world. It's the greatest economy in history. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. With the biggest tax cuts ever recorded, bigger than the Ronald Reagan, and we like Ronald Reagan, but we beat him out on the tax cuts. The biggest regulation cuts, the record energy production like never before, and rising wages for Americans of every race, religion, color, and creed. Never did so well. We never did so well. Under crooked Joe Biden, it's been 3 straight years of total economic warfare and welfare and stagnation on working American families. Think of it, they had essentially 39% increase in inflation, 39. So think of this, no matter how well you didn't do that well. That means you fell behind the eight ball, because the inflation that he caused, primarily because of the stupid energy policies, windmills all over the place. Let's put up windmills all over. Let's do, you know, windmills, it's the most expensive energy anywhere in the world. You can't do more expensive than wind, aside from the fact that they kill the birds, they kill everything around them. You know, it's the Green New Scam. It's part of the Green New Scam. But they had, think of it, a 3-year inflation rate essentially at about 39, if you include everything. They like to say, well, we're not including food, minor things like rent, food, energy. Under my leadership, you had virtually no inflation. Under Crooked Joe, you had energy prices reach the highest level in history. The history, I just see that these are incredible women. I don't know about the husbands. I don't know what's wrong with the husbands. So this is, I think it's about the 115th time. And they come from a place that's not too far away. You do like North Carolina, right? Yeah! They come from North Carolina, so, you know, they travel to Texas, California. Oh, there's some more over here. Yeah! Finally, I see a husband.
Florida!
These women are unbelievable. They love our country, and at least for this one, they didn't have to travel very far. So that's very nice. And then over here, we have Front Row Joe.
Yay! Woo! We love you!
25. I don't know what they do. I know they're rich.
I know.
I don't know what they do, but we love all of you. You're great.
Thank
You're
you.
American patriots.
Thank you. Thank you.
And by the way, the Vietnamese delegation. I
Yes.
don't know what it is about Vietnam, but they do.
We love you.
Thank you very much.
We love you.
We like them. Thank you.
We love you.
They travel with me all over. You know, I must be too soft on Vietnam because you like me too much.
Yeah, we like freedom.
We love you. We like freedom.
We like freedom.
Thank
They
you
want the
very
country with freedom.
They want freedom. That's right.
Yes, sir.
Under Biden, gas prices have reached $5, $6, and even $7 a gallon. In some places in California, they've gone up to $8 and $9. 3 years ago, under my leadership, we had energy independence, and we were soon going to have energy dominance. All over the world, we're going to be dominant. We have more liquid gold under our feet than any other country. Think of it. And we don't know what we're doing with it. I had gas prices at $1.87 a gallon. Wouldn't that be nice?
Yes!
Thanks to Bidenomics, the 3-year mortgage rate has hit a 22-year high, with the average mortgage payment at a brutal $3, of which you've never seen before. They are doing, you know, they're pumping it as much as they can under the Trump. They're saying, keep it going. North Carolina, a wonderful state that we work so closely with Henry and everybody. We had it to a level that it's never seen before. And now it's never going to be quite like that. It can't be, but it's just going off. You know, the stock market is up. Many people, some of the smartest people in the market, say it's up because we're leading Biden in the polls by so much, and they expect that we're going to win. If we lose, you're going to have a crash like you would. If we lose, that's an incentive if you have stock. If we have a tragedy happen on November 5th, it would be a tragedy. In the opinion of many, and in my opinion, you will have the largest stock market crash we've ever had, because a lot of the stock market, because the only thing that's doing well is the stock market, and it's doing well because the polls are all showing that we're winning by a lot. So we gotta make sure that. And if we win, you're all getting the biggest tax cuts because we're doing additional cuts. Not even in our great 4 years. When I was president, we slashed taxes for working families. We doubled the child tax credit. Not a very Republican thing to do, but I said, let's do it anyway. That was something that we wanted to do, and people are very happy about it. The mothers, the families, they're very happy. We did something that we really felt we should do, and we supported moms and dads by dramatically expanding education savings accounts, which is a big deal. Use them. Under my leadership, the Republican Party will always support the creation of strong, thriving, healthy American families. We're supporting America first. Little thing called America. We want to make it easier for mothers and fathers to have babies, not harder. You know that. That includes, and you saw this, it was a big deal over the last few days, that includes supporting the availability of fertility treatments like IVF in every state in America. You've been seeing Alabama, it's been a big story, like the overwhelming majority of Americans, including the vast majority of Republican, conservatives, Christians, and pro-life Americans. I strongly support the availability of IVF for couples who are trying to have a precious little beautiful baby. And today I'm calling on the Alabama legislature to act quickly to find an immediate solution to preserve the availability of IVF in Alabama, and I'm sure they're going to do that. The Republican Party should always be on the side of the miracle of life and the side of mothers and fathers and beautiful little babies. IVF is an important part of that, and our great Republican Party will always be with you. We're always going to be with you in your quest to find that ultimate joy in life. You know, the ultimate joy in life is a beautiful, healthy, wonderful baby. So we are with you, and I wanted you to know that. And a lot of Republicans call me. I put that message out on a thing called Truth Social. Social's hot. But we put it out a little while ago, and a lot of people called up, a lot of politicians called up. Thank you, sir, thank you. And that's the way we feel. So we're going to be with you all the way. And subject, frankly, very complicated and very big, but we're with you all the way. I think there are a lot of happy people in this room. Most of you know exactly what I'm talking about. But thank you. Crooked Joe Biden is not the only massive tax hiker in this race. You also have a person, she said, I will never run against our president. He has been a great president. He is one of the greatest presidents. I will never run, I promise you I will. Ladies, how about that? 3 years later, she goes, ladies and young riders are to run. You ever seen the clips? We have about 12 clips. I will never run against our president. He's one of the greatest presidents ever. A little bit later, no, don't use the name Burger. Please, please, madam, don't use the name. No, we got to win this. We have to win big. We have to show, again, supported by the Democrats. Supported and funded by the Democrats. Republicans aren't supporting her. They don't like her policy. She's essentially a Democrat. I think she should probably switch parties. Probably she should switch. But you have a Nikki Haley who tried to double your gas tax here in South Carolina. Remember, she said that's not true. But then we put up clips. We put up clips. Now she tried very hard, and she also supports a 23% national sales tax, which basically equals election death. You know what that is, right? You can't get elected when this stuff comes out. And you think they treat me bad, and they do. They're horrible people. These people are sick. They're sick. I've been indicted more than Alphonse Capone, great guy. I got indicted. My parents are looking down. They're saying, I never thought this could happen to my son. I didn't know what the hell the word is. And it all took place instantly. If I fly over a blue state, the next day I get a federal grand jury notice. And they indicted me on bullshit. It's all bullshit. But remember, if any other person were in this position, they'd be treated the same way as they're treated. I don't think that's harsh. I think they should behave more than anybody that's ever lived. It's all because we won an election, 2016, that we weren't expected to win. Now, I expected to win it. All of you expected. We'd go to rallies with a 50,000, 52,000, 68,000, 101,000. We had a rally. And they'd go to rally and they'd have like in the case of Biden, you'd have 8 circles.
Yes, 8 circles.
And they'd have to use the media to stand there because they had no people. And then you hear, oh, they won just by a little bit. They just ounced us out. No, it's a crooked deal. But Nikki Haley, if she were ever in this position, they'd go after her. I could tell you about 5 reasons right now, but I don't want to get myself in trouble. They'll say, he's so mean. He's so mean. Oh, there are some reasons. I think everybody in your state knows some beautiful reasons. They would go after her the same way they go after me. That's what they do. Because they're basically a party of misinformation, disinformation. Yes. They lie, and they say it like Russia, Russia, Russia. Exactly. Took me 2.5 years to get that one off my back. You know, that was a real crooked deal. They used that as an excuse. Why, beautiful Hillary, call her beautiful. Because I've taken the name Crooked Hillary off, I've given it to Biden. Because I had sleepy Joe Biden, I have crooked Joe Biden. I think Crooked Joe is more accurate. Yeah. Sleepy. Nikki Haley is not in this race to fight for you. She's in the bidding for big donors, or maybe she wants to get a contractor on CNN. You know, do you see their ratings? Uh-oh, there go the CNN cameras. They knew what was coming. Now they have the worst ratings they've ever had. The thing is dying. You know why? Because they're not truthful. They're not truthful. They're really. By the way, did Tim Scott make a great speech? I don't know if he likes it when I say this, but it's so meant as such a compliment because he's such a fine man. He ran he ran okay. He was okay. He was okay. He's a respected guy, but he ran and he did fine. And then when he got out, he endorsed me, and he's a surrogate. He's the greatest surrogate I've ever seen. This guy went from modest, high-quality man, introducing his mother, who's incredible, by the way. When I said, Tim, I called him up. He took everybody. He had like 5 of the worst human beings interviewing him, trying to hit me. He said, Donald Trump did this, he did that, he did criminal justice reform, he did things. And by the time he finished with it, they just wanted to get off the set. And I said, he's a much better representative for me than he is a representative for himself. And it's true. And that's a great compliment. And you know why? Because he's a high quality person. He doesn't like talking about it. Well, I came into arena 3 weeks ago, big arena. You know, we won in Iowa in a record.
Yes.
You know, Nikki, she loses to Biden in virtually every poll. She has one poll that's so old now that the paper is turning, and nobody ever heard of the poll. She loses to Biden in all the polls. But forget that. This guy, he's far more interesting. So, we won Iowa in a landslide in a record, the likes of which has never been seen. In fact, we took the record and they doubled it. We won by that margin. We then went to New Hampshire. We got more votes than anybody in the history of New Hampshire. The New Hampshire.
Yes.
And I heard Nikki today said, no, I lost 2. No, she lost 4. Because she lost the Virgin Islands, which she tried like hell to get. We won that too. A lot of people don't know that. But then we went to Nevada, and she was campaigning against candidate unknown. It was candidate unknown was me, because I was in the caucus, not in the primary. She should have been in the caucus too, but she didn't want to be because of the poll numbers, which were terrible. I got 99.6% of the vote. 99%. And then in the primary, the candidate unknown, which probably I think people thought I was the candidate unknown, beat her by 60%. Beat her. But she said she only lost 2, but that's, and she's going to have a very bad day tomorrow because she's not a nice person. But we were in Iowa and then in New Hampshire, and I saw we had a big arena like this, and I heard the people going crazy, and I heard some guy screaming, Donald Trump, Donald Trump. I said, who's that? He said, it's Tim Scott. I said, that guy's unbelievable. So anyway, well, we love Tim Scott, and you're lucky to have him in this show. Thank you. It's a great honor. Actually, it was a great honor. That was one of the few endorsements I wanted to get. And we did get it, and it's a great honor to have it, Tim. We appreciate it. And he did a good job today also, by the way, because I heard that one too. So, Nikki's gone, and we're not going to spend a lot of time on it, but I guess I have an obligation. I know we have an election tomorrow. Front row Joes, I have to at least mention for a couple of seconds, right? Then we're going to get on to more important things like how to make America great again, okay? But Nikki's actually gone very far left. She's very rude, you know? I don't like to say that, but she's very rude. But because of her Democrat donors, she's working for Democrat donors, and all she's trying to do is inflict pain on us so they can win in November. We're not going to let that happen. We're not going to let it happen. And she's not really attacking me. She's really attacking the Republican Party, and that's not a good thing to do. So a vote for Nikki Haley tomorrow is a vote for Joe Biden this November. That's all you're doing, is you're voting for crooked Joe Biden. A vote for Trump is a vote to fire crooked Joe and put America first and make America great. And the reason they're fighting so hard for Nikki is that the radical left Democrats want Nikki Haley because they know she's easy to beat, and all the polls are showing that. She's the easiest one to beat. She's much easier than Tim would have been. She's much easier than many of our good Republican candidates would have been. And just in finalizing it out, but because this is kryptonite, Mitt Romney is kryptonite.
Yes.
You know, a certain senator, a very, very good senator, I'll mention names, but I backed him and he took a tremendous lead. And then time went by, and 3 months later I said, by the way, how's he doing? It's a great state. And they said, sir, he's up by 40. And then 40 points, that's a lot. That means it's over. And then a month went by, I said, everything okay out there? No, sir, he's actually down by 2 points. I said, he lost 42 points? What happened? Well, people said he was friends with Mitt Romney. I said, Mitt Romney is kryptonite. You can't be friends. So I found out it wasn't true, and I went on a rampage, and we ended up getting him elected. He won quite easily. We had to convince people that he was not friends with Mitt Romney. Mitt Romney is a disaster for the Republican Party, and now he's gone. You know, we're getting rid of a lot of these people that are. And you remember the clip when she was at a podium, and she actually was with Romney and somebody named, I'm sure you haven't heard of him, Barack Hussein Obama. Barack Hussein. You ever hear, remember Rush? Rush Limbaugh, the great Rush, can never be replaced. Sean Hannity told me that he can never be replaced, Rush Limbaugh. But he used to talk about Obama. He wasn't too friendly to Obama. But he'd always introduce him, ladies and gentlemen, Barack Hussein. He would scream that middle name out. And we do miss Rush, don't we, though? We gave him the Presidential Medal of Freedom, right? Mr. Wall over there, stand up. The nicest dude I think I've ever seen.
Bill Wood!
Remember, I built 571 miles of wall, and we were going to, that's far more than I said. We had the safest border in history, now we have the worst border in history, but every time I look, he's at a lot. What number is this for you?
I have stopped counting. I make it at every one I can get to, and I wish I'd get them all.
We love you, man. It's great. It's in the hundreds, I believe. It's a lot. Then he's probably like a very successful professional guy. I'm going to find out. But we have fun. It's like these guys come to football games. They're solid citizens, and then they come out in, you know, gear and names all over the football. I say, what's going on? But in his case, he's not rooting for a team of football players. He's rooting for America, right? So if you want a president who puts America first and defeat Nikki Haley, you got to go out and vote. Got to send the signal tomorrow. Got to get up. Got to vote. Fire Crooked Joe and elect your favorite president, Donald J. Trump. What the hell of a nice arena. This is big. Upon taking office, I will end Joe Biden's war on American energy, cancel his ban on exporting American natural gas, and we will quite simply drill, baby, drill. I will revoke China's most favored nation's trade status, and we will impose stiff penalties on China and other trade abusers. They are tremendous trade abusers. I got along with them very well, but tremendous abusers. Remember this, no other president did anything, nothing to China. They would walk away with $509 billion a year. It was just a terrible. I took in hundreds of billions of dollars in taxes and tariffs. We will once again live by the maxim of the Trump administration: buy American and hire American. And to protect South Carolina workers, I will pass the Trump reciprocal trade act. You know what that is, right? If China or any other country makes us pay a tariff of, let's say, 100 or 200 or even 300%, and they do that, we will make them pay a reciprocal, identical tariff of 100 or 200 or 300%. It's called you screw us and we screw you. As tariffs on foreign countries go up, taxes on American workers and families will come down very substantially. You know, last night I was making a speech in a very nice area. I was going, and we were in Tennessee, and a man came up to me. He owned a big metal company, collects metal and manufactures metal. And he had tears in his eyes, strong guy. You can see he's lifted plenty of steel. But he came up to me and he said, "Sir, I just want to thank you. You saved my life, you saved my company. My company was ready to die in 2016, and then you put up those tariffs on China steel. They were dumping steel all over the place. I was dying. All the steel companies were dying." Wow. She must be in the steel business. But he said what you did was so incredible. And I saw him in the audience when I was speaking, that was before. And I said, "Well, you want to come up here?" He said, "Yeah." And he got up and he was in tears. He said, "What you did with the tariffs, I put a 25 and a 50% tariff on steel coming in, and it totally saved his company, saved the industry, and a lot of other things. A lot of very good things happened because they want to put you out of business, and then they want to have a monopoly on steel and lots of other things." It's no wonder Joe Biden and his thugs are so desperate to stop us. They know that we are the only ones who can stop them, and they know that. That's why they are weaponizing law enforcement for high-level election interference. That's what they're doing right now. It's all, look at Fani, F-A-N-I. It should be pronounced Fanny. Fanny. Fani. They say she gets very upset if you call her Fanny. F-A-N-I. She fell in love with a person that, long before this started, he got paid almost $1 million. He never did it before. They love to talk about disinformation and democracy. They talk about disinformation, they talk about threat to democracy, but they're the threat to democracy. They use the DOJ, the FBI, our election systems, they rig our elections and attack free speech. Isn't it amazing? All the people that go and get investigated, all of them, they don't go after the people that rigged the election. They go after the people that want to find out who it was that rigged the election. Should be the opposite way. We're not going to put up with it. Joe Biden and the fascists that control him are really the true threat to democracy. Those are the threat to democracy. All of this persecution is only happening because I am running for president and leading very substantially in the polls. Now, if I wasn't running, again, cases coming out of nowhere, all run by DOJ, the White House, even a DA case, local DA case, they put the DOJ top people into the local DA's office in Manhattan on a case that's absolutely, in fact, every critic and every legal scholar said, it's not a case. There's no case here. But they put DOJ people in there. It's weaponization. And you know, at least I have a voice, I can speak about it. And the poll numbers go up because when people hear about it, they say, wow, never been done in this country like that before. But if they hit a congressman, or if they hit even a senator where you don't have that voice, where you can stand up and discuss it with millions and millions of people, they will leave office. They will go back home to their family. They'll make a speech that I will fight for my name. I will fight for my name. I will go home to my family. And you never hear from the person again. It's never been where you get hit with something like this and you go up in the polls. Usually when you get hit, if a regular, good, strong, wonderful politician got hit with a federal subpoena or a state subpoena or any of these subpoenas, it doesn't matter whether they're innocent or guilty. They have to resign from office in disgrace. They have to. With me, I got hit and my numbers went up. Democrats, Marxists, communists, and fascists indict me. I consider it actually a great badge of honor. That's a little different thinking. I just happen to be standing whatever way. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we're delighted to be joined by some incredible people and people I talk about all the time, so I don't have to go through a big deal here because it's your favorite governor, Henry McMaster, and First Lady Peggy McMaster. And Tim Scott, I want to thank you, Tim. I love Tim. We know that. Lieutenant Governor Pamela Abbott. Thank you, Pamela. We have a lot of members in Congress and from Congress here. Some are in the audience, and I'm a little bit, I'm going to get in trouble because I won't hear them. I don't know where the hell they are. But I do know some of them. One is Mike Collins. Who are the people that are undecided? We have one of the biggest and largest margins ever. You know, it's tough. A Republican has a tougher path, actually. Because the Democrats, like a friend of mine called up, he said, I see you're up 11 points, Washington Post, 11 points on Joe Biden. He's not a political person, but he's a very smart person, made a lot of money, very successful. He said, how come you're only up 11 points? You should be up like 40 or 50 points. The guy can't put two sentences together. He can't walk off the stage, can't find the stairs. They're all over the place. He can't find stairs. So this guy, being a novice, said, how come it is, why is it that you're only up 11, sir? I said, you know what? You don't know much about politics. In fact, our lead against Biden is the largest that we've ever had at 6 and 7 and 9, 10, 11, and we have won at 14 points. That's a lot. The radical left Democrats rigged the presidential election in 2020. They rigged the presidential election, and we're not going to allow them to rig the presidential election of 2024. Every time the radical left Democrats, Marxists, communists, and fascists indict me, I consider it actually a great badge of honor. That's a little different thinking up there, isn't it? It is what it is. I'm being indicted for you. That's what's happened. Never forget, our enemies want to take away my freedom because I will never let them take away your freedom. I will never let them. They want to silence me because I will never let them silence you. And in the end, they're not after me. They're after you. I just happen to be standing in their way. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we're delighted to be joined by some incredible people and people I talk about all the time, so I don't have to go through a big deal here because it's your favorite governor, Henry McMaster, and First Lady Peggy McMaster. And Tim Scott, I want to thank you, Tim. I love Tim. We know that. Lieutenant Governor Pamela Abbott. Thank you, Pamela. Thank you. We have a lot of members in Congress and from Congress here. Some are in the audience, and I'm a little bit, I'm going to get in trouble because I won't be able, I don't know where the hell they are. I do know some of them. One is Mike Collins. Mike, wherever you may be, thank you very much. Thanks, Mike. Great job you're doing. A superstar with a tremendous future, Byron Donalds. Where's Byron? A man that I sort of recruited, I'm very proud of him because
Thank you very much. Thank you. You ever see crowds like this? A man that I sort of recruited, a particular congressman voted to impeach me, and they're all just about gone now, just about over, they're gone. Whatever happened to Liz Cheney? Where is she? Boy, was that Trump derangement? That committee was a rigged deal, but did you ever see anybody like her? She had a massive case of Trump derangement syndrome, didn't she? But a man, he voted to impeach me, and you know, when people vote to impeach, that's sort of the ultimate. You can vote every once in a while against education, you can vote against something, you can vote against tax hikes or tax cuts, you can do it. But when they vote to impeach you, there's nothing you can ever do to recover from that. We're never going to be with them. And this guy, out of the blue, in an area that was plus 28, Trump plus 28, he brilliantly, would he like to have that vote back? He brilliantly said, no, I vote to impeach Trump for nothing, for a perfect phone call. Perfect phone call. He made a call. It has turned out to be a perfect call, you know that. Everybody now says, oh, we should have never done. Anyway, so I said, who's somebody good to run against them? And they said, well, there's a really popular guy in town who's in politics, doing really well. He's a leader. His name is Russell Fry. I said, And I called him up, and I said, I heard you're doing well. Yes, sir, I am. How would you like to run for Congress? I gave him about a 1 minute. How long did that interview last? About 20 seconds on the phone. I said, well, I hear you great, why don't you run? And then he had to go and prove his stuff, right? And he really proved to himself, and I just appreciate it. Russell, you've been incredible, doing a great job. You wiped that guy out. He actually, at the time, won by the biggest margin in the history of Congress. There's never been somebody that lost a big, because usually if somebody's going to lose that big, a sitting congressperson, they usually drop out before the election. He didn't drop out, only to be surpassed by Liz Cheney. She lost by the biggest, Liz Cheney lost by the biggest margin, so you only had that title for about 11 months, right? You've done a great job. Thank you very much. A woman who is extremely shy, but a woman who stands up, and I will tell you, she's a fighter. I know about that. She's a fighter. And when you get her on your side, you're both lucky and smart. And she really has. She's been a real good fighter for us, and she's somebody who's done a very good job, and I'm very honored that she's here, and she's been to a couple of our rallies. And she does, when she sets her sight on something, she's tough. And that's what we want, Nancy Mace. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you. Thank you, Nancy. Thank you. Great job. Now, a really shy person, a person that, I mean, honestly, she's a good person. She's been with me for so long. She's been with me in good times and bad times. If times are bad, she'll call me up and say, don't worry about it, sir, you're doing great. And if times are good, she'll call me up. That's pretty good, huh? That's good. Great person. Another warrior that's with you and very successful, William Timmons. Thank you, William. It's been great. And a man who became famous one night during the State of the Union, when he stood up, he said, you lie. You remember? I'm sure nobody remembers that, but I do. He is one of the most incredible people, for a lot of reasons, including the fact that Alan Wilson is his son. Alan Wilson, stand up, and Joe Wilson, stand up. Two great people. Thank you both. Thank you. It's a great family. State Treasurer Curtis Loftus. Curtis, thank you very much. Thank you very much. And somebody that's done an incredible job in North Carolina with all the theft and all the cheating and everything else In Pennsylvania, I was leading by so many, it was over 73% of the vote, and all of a sudden, there was this big dump. Where did it come from? And they said, oh, you're no longer leading, you're tied, and then it went on, and it was disgraceful what happened, and likewise other states. But in North Carolina, that lead never wavered. It just kept going on and on and on. I said, why isn't it happening in North Carolina? Oh, that's right, you have a lot of friends here from North Carolina. Why isn't it happening? And it didn't happen because of his leadership. He was the head of the North Carolina Republican Party. We have millions more votes than the other side. Not even close. Just watch that they don't drop ballots. From the very first day that we take back the White House from crooked Joe Biden, I believe we are going to have the 4 greatest years in the history of our country. In our first term, we appointed over 300 federal judges, a record, and 3 great Supreme Court justices. Our incredible veterans, what we did for the veterans was, you know, we had a 92% approval rating for the vets. Now they're down into the 40s again. They were in the 40s for years. 92, because we passed 2 things, the VA Accountability Act and VA Choice. Accountability. We fired 9,000 sadists, thieves, crooks, wise guys. They hated our veterans. They would beat up our veterans in not prime time. They could never have done it in prime time. And the other is choice. We were having people stand on line sometimes for 2 months, 3 months, 4 months. You know, we have great doctors in the VA, but a lot of administration problems they had. And people were going online, not very sick, and by the time they saw a doctor, they became terminally ill. Literally, things that could have been fixed, they became terminally ill. And we did choice, which they've been trying to do for 52, 53 years. They couldn't get it passed in Congress. And I got it passed in Congress, VA Choice, where if you have to wait more than 24 hours, you go to private doctors in the community, we pay the bill, you get better, and we actually, I mean, I didn't do it for this reason, but we actually saved a lot of money, but we saved a lot of lives, a lot of lives. Woo! Saved a lot of lives. We fully rebuilt the U.S. military and created Space Force, which was a big deal. When I did that, remember people responded. Russia and China were killing us in space, and now we're by far the leader in space. That was a big deal. Hadn't been done in 78 years. Last one was Air Force. 78 years. It was a great achievement. And I was the first president in decades who started no new wars. Instead, I brought back our troops. If you remember, though, we defeated ISIS. They said, let's get home. It's time to bring them home. Hillary Clinton used to say in the debates, look at him, that personality. Look at that person. He's going to get us into a war. No, my personality kept us out of wars. Yes. We would have never had Russia there. We would have never had the problem that you just had, the horrible problem where Israel, October 7th, where Israel was so horribly attacked. These things wouldn't have happened because they respected me, but they respected our country. Now they laugh at our president. They laugh at him. The guy can't talk. The guy can't walk. Remember when he said, I'd like to take him behind the barn? And the fake news, see the fake news? Oh, look at all those guys. The fake news said, I want to take him. Remember that? He said, I want to take him behind the barn. And he said, isn't that nice? Oh, that's so cute. That's so cute. He wants to take him behind the barn. In other words, he wants to take me behind the barn. And the fake news is saying it's wonderful. Then when I said, let him take me behind the barn, they said, oh, that's terrible. He's a fascist. Trump is a fascist. Now, if I ever did, if we were ever behind the barn, I would look at him and I'd go like this. have the horrible war between Russia and Ukraine settled over there.
Yes!
By the thousands. Horrible thing. Under the Trump administration, we will return to peace through strength. That's what we had. They respected us all over the world. 3 years ago, we had the most secure border in U.S. history. We ended catch and release, built 571 miles of border wall, and got Mexico to send 28,000 soldiers to our border free of charge. You think that was easy to get Mexico to give us 28,000 soldiers free? Free. I got them to give a lot. There was no mechanism. Remember, I used to say we'll get Mexico to pay for a big portion of the wall. Well, this cost them more money than the wall. And it wasn't easy, but I said, if you don't do it, we're going to put tariffs on all your cars. We're going to do numbers on you like you wouldn't believe. Sir, we would love to send you 28,000 free soldiers. Under Biden, we now have the worst border in the history of the world. No one has been hurt by this invasion more than our black and Hispanic populations. Like also, they're taking your jobs. They're taking your jobs. They're taking your... You know, just to go off for 1 second, I never spoke about him that way because I have too much respect for the office of the presidency. I have great respect for the office of the president. Thank you, darling. But I have great respect for the office of the president. Too much, maybe, when certain people are in there that shouldn't be in there. But I never spoke the way I spoke now. But when I got indicted, administration, by comparison, looks brilliant. It looks brilliant. Jimmy Carter had a brilliant administration compared to Biden. He's the most corrupt president, most incompetent president ever. I would never have said that, even though it's true. But out of respect for the office, I would never talk that way. But now I do talk that way. He's a bad guy. He weaponized things, and he is a threat to democracy, not us. He is a threat. Thanks to Biden, we now have a new category of crime. It's called migrant crime. I actually added the word migrant. I call it migrant. Migrant. Can you do that? I said, yes, I can. He goes, no way. I said, way. No way. And I said, here's the story. Call me back within 5 minutes. Let me know. He called me back in about 2 minutes. He said, we've decided not to place this tax on America. I did so much of that stuff, and I can't tell anymore about people. If you do, you will be met with force the likes of which you've never heard of or seen. You know, that from that point forward, we had a very good, tough conversation. From that point forward, we didn't have one, and Biden admitted this, and the people actually said, don't admit that. From that point forward, we didn't have one soldier, person shot at or killed for 18 months. And then we had the rigged election, and then they said we're going to leave, and instead of taking the troops out last, they said let's take the troops out first. And all hell broke out. And that was the worst, well, it was a surrender, essentially. There was no surrender. They were so afraid of us, they wouldn't do anything. They hated those F-16s that would go over. They hated, they looked up, they said, get the hell out of here. Now they own the F-16s, you know, they own our military. $85 billion worth of equipment, 13 dead soldiers, 38 soldiers who have been just so badly hurt, no arms, no legs, the face was just so badly hurt, nobody's ever seen. 5 years ago, you couldn't have saved them. But, so, I mean, what they have to live through because of this, and we left a lot of people behind, too, Americans. We left a lot of Americans behind, all because of bad leadership. But if you ask that beautiful, probably 5 or 6 year old child right there, would you take the soldiers out first or last? He would say, sir, I would take the soldiers out last. These people took the military out first. And now everybody was defenseless. And I could just see Abdul. They go up to Abdul in his office. Abdul, the Americans have left. No, you fool. Of course they have. No, Abdul. I could just see this conversation. And then they send somebody out to check and comes back and says, Abdul, he's right. The American soldiers have left. We were standing defending one of the biggest finger. You saw that, right, the other day. These are people that come from countries. I guarantee you they wouldn't do that in their country. They wouldn't do that in their country. I know their countries. You do that in their country, they wouldn't be living for more than 5 minutes. This month, a savage illegal alien criminal pulled out a gun and shot a 38-year-old female tourist in the middle of Times Square. He then went on to later shoot a New York Police Department officer near Radio City Music Hall. He was found to have been living in a Biden migrant shelter, which, by the way, used to be occupied by veterans. They were all thrown out so that the migrants could get a place to live. What they've done to our veterans is unbelievable. Where he also committed armed robbery in the Bronx and then shot someone else before being brutally apprehended. He caused tremendous damage to our police in Chicago. Violent crime arrests of Biden migrants, I have to say that, Biden migrants, and it's Biden migrant crime, have exploded by 11,000. We will restore law and order in our country. I will direct a completely overhauled DOJ to investigate every radical, out-of-control prosecutor for their illegal, racist, and reverse enforcement of the law. It's horrible what's going on with law enforcement. I'm also going to indemnify all police officers and law enforcement officials throughout the United States to protect them from being destroyed by the radical left for taking strong action on crime. And we are going to rebuild our cities into beacons of hope, safety, and beauty better than they have ever been before. We will take over the horribly run capital of our nation, Washington. Have you seen what's been happening here? Have you seen people being murdered? They come from South Carolina to go for a nice visit, and they end up being murdered, shot, mugged, beat up. Those beautiful marble columns have graffiti, the roads are broken, the medians between the roads are falling into the street. You can imagine what foreign dignitaries and people from foreign countries say. On day one, I will sign a new executive order to cut federal funding for any school pushing critical race theory, transgender, or political content onto our children. And I will not give 1 penny to any school that has a vaccine mandate or a mask. Something I find hard to believe that I even have to say, I will keep men out of women's sports. And I will fully uphold the Second Amendment. We will protect innocent life. And we will restore free speech. So importantly, we have to secure our elections. Our goal will be one-day voting with paper ballots and voter ID. But until then, Republicans must win elections. If you took the 10 worst presidents in the history of the United States and added them up, they would not have done near the destruction to our country as Joe Biden and the Biden administration has done. So if you want to save America, then you must go and vote, right?
Yes! Yes!
Remember, the primary is tomorrow, Saturday, February 24th. It's a very big one. The whole world is watching. We have to show big numbers. You have to get out and vote. We're going to win it. We're going to win it big. We have to win it by margins never seen before. Bring everyone that you know. Details are, if you want, sc.donaldjtrump.com. They'll give you any information you want. So in conclusion, together we are taking on some of the most menacing forces and vicious opponents our people have ever seen. But no matter how hateful and corrupt the communists and criminals we're fighting are, you must never forget this nation does not belong to them. This nation belongs to you. This is your home, this is your heritage, and our American liberty is your God-given right. So from Columbia to Clemson, from Greenville to Charleston, from Myrtle Beach to Rock Hill, we stand on the shoulders of South Carolina here, who crossed the ocean, settled the continent, tamed the wilderness, and laid down the railroads, raised up those great skyscrapers, won 2 world wars, defeated fascism and communism, and made America the single greatest nation in the history of the world.
Yes! USA! 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 USA!
But now, we are a nation in decline. We are a failing nation. We are a nation that has the highest inflation in 50 years, where banks are collapsing and interest rates are skyrocketing. Likewise, we are a nation where energy costs have reached the highest levels in our history. We are no longer energy independent or energy dominant as we were just a few short years ago. We are a nation that is begging Venezuela for oil. Please, please, please help us, Joe Biden says. Yet we have more liquid gold under our feet than any other nation anywhere in the world. We are a nation that just recently heard that Saudi Arabia and Russia will be reducing their oil production, while at the same time substantially increasing the price. And we met that threat by announcing that we will no longer be drilling for oil in large areas of Alaska and elsewhere on our beautiful lands. We are a nation that is consumed by the radical left's Green New Deal, yet everyone knows that the Green New scam is fake and will lead to our destruction. We are a nation whose leaders are demanding all electric cars, despite the fact that they don't go far, cost too much, and whose batteries are produced in China with materials only available in China, when an unlimited amount of gasoline is available inexpensively in the United States, but not available in China. And now we are a nation that wants to make our revered and very powerful army tanks the best anywhere in the world, all electric, so that despite the fact that they are also not able to go far, fewer pollutants will be released into the air as we blast our way through enemy territory in an environmentally friendly way. And they also want to make our fighter jets with a green stamp of energy savings, though losing 15% efficiency, but allowing us to keep our enemy's atmosphere clean of emissions as we viciously and unceremoniously attack them at levels never seen before. Who are these people that would do this to us? We are these people. We are these people. We are being led by fools. We are being led by stupid, stupid representatives. And we cannot allow it to continue. We are a nation that ended oil exploration and production in the United States, just as the price of oil reached an all-time high. What other countries would do such a foolish and self-destructive thing? Who would do this to us? Who are these leaders? Who are these fools? Can we be energy independent and even dominant again? Yes, oh yes, and quickly, says President Trump. Yes, oh yes, and very quickly. We are a nation that surrendered in Afghanistan, leaving dead soldiers, American citizens, and $85 billion worth of the finest military equipment in the world, and also also abandoning Bagram, one of the biggest military bases, only 1 hour away from where China makes those vicious and hateful nuclear weapons. We are a nation that allowed Russia and Ukraine to fight, killing hundreds of thousands of people, and it will only get worse. It would never have happened with me as your president, and for 4 straight years, it didn't happen. Likewise, the horrifying attack on Israel would never have happened. They wouldn't even have thought of doing such a thing if President Trump was in the Oval Office. Iran was broke under the Trump administration. Iran was broke. They didn't have the money to fund Hamas, Hezbollah, and all of the other instruments of terror. But those sanctions were lifted by a corrupt Biden administration, and now Iran is a rich country again with $200 billion and another $6 billion for hostages and $10 billion for electricity to Iraq. All compliments of the incompetent Biden administration. And China with Taiwan is next. We are a nation that allows radical left terrorists to violently attack our cities, leaving behind massive destruction and death, and nothing happens to the criminals that do these terrible things. There is no punishment, but when people who love our country protest on January 6th in Washington, they become hostages unfairly imprisoned for long periods of time. We are a third world nation that has weaponized its law enforcement against the opposing political party like never, ever before. We've got a Federal Bureau of Investigation that won't allow bad election-changing facts to be presented to the public, and which offers $1 million to a writer of fiction about Donald Trump to lie and say it was fact, where Hunter Biden's laptop from hell was Russian disinformation, and the FBI knew it wasn't, but 51 intelligence agents said it was, and a Department of Justice that refuses to investigate egregious acts of voting irregularities and frauds. And we have a man who is totally corrupt and the worst president in the history of our country, who is cognitively impaired and in no condition to lead, and is now in charge of dealing with Russia and possible nuclear war, which would be World War III and far more devastating than any of the previous world wars because of the weaponry that no one even wants to talk about or to think about. We are a nation that no longer has a free and fair press. Fake news is all you get, and they are indeed the enemy of the people. They refuse, as everybody knows, to even discuss the Biden crime family, but enjoy covering the false indictments of Donald J. Trump, who has done nothing wrong except win an election that was supposedly unwinnable. We are a nation where free speech is no longer allowed, where crime is rampant and out of control like never before. We are a nation that is allowing Iran to build a massive nuclear weapon and China to use the trillions and trillions of dollars it has taken from us to build a military to rival our own. And less than 3 years ago, we had Iran, China, Russia, and North Korea in check. They respected us. They were afraid of us. They weren't going to do a thing against us, and everyone knows it. Now Russia and China are holding summits to carve up the rest of the world. And perhaps most importantly, we are a nation that is no longer admired, respected, or listened to on the world stage. They are no longer respected. Nobody wants to listen. We are a nation that in many ways has become a joke. And we are a nation that is hostile to liberty, freedom, faith, and even hostile to God. We are a nation whose economy is collapsing into a cesspool of ruin, whose supply chain is broken, whose stores are not stocked, whose deliveries are not coming, and whose educational system is ranked at the very bottom of every single list. We are a nation that just sold a once great company, United States Steel, to Japan. And we are a nation whose stock market's continued success is totally contingent on MAGA winning the next election. We are a nation where large packs of sadistic criminals and thieves are allowed to go into stores and openly rob them, beat up and kill their workers and customers, and leave with armloads of goods, but with no retribution, where the authority of our great police has been taken, where their families and pensions have been threatened, and their lives would be destroyed for the mere mention of the words law enforcement. We are a nation where fentanyl and other forms of illegal drugs are easier to get than groceries to feed our beautiful families. We have become a drug-infested nation, crime-ridden nation, which is incapable of solving even the smallest and simplest of problems. We can't solve anything. We will institute the powerful death penalty for drug dealers, where each dealer is responsible for the death during their lives of 500 people or more. Mothers will never again be forced to watch their children overdosing and hopelessly dying in their arms, screaming, "What can I do? What can I do? My child is dying." We are a nation whose once revered airports are dirty. They're a crowded mess. You sit and wait for hours and then are notified that the plane won't leave and they have no idea when it will. Where ticket prices have tripled. They don't have the pilots to fly the planes. They don't see qualified air traffic controllers, and they just don't know what the hell they're doing. We are a nation that screens its citizens viciously at all ports, but if you're an illegal alien, you're allowed to flow through by the millions and millions and millions. We are a nation that has lost its confidence, willpower, and strength. We are a nation that has lost its way, but we are not going to allow this horror to continue any longer. 3 years ago, we were a great nation, and we will soon be a great nation again.
Okay. Yeah! Woo! We will!
It was the hard-working patriots like you who built this country, and it's the hard-working patriots like you who are going to save our country. We will fight for America like no one has ever fought before. 2024 is our final battle. With you at my side, we will demolish the deep state. We will expel the warmongers from our government. We will drive out the globalists. We will cast out the communists, Marxists, and fascists. And we will throw off the sick political class that hates our country. We will rout the fake news media. We will drain the swamp. And we will liberate our country from these tyrants and villains once and for all. Like those patriots before us, we will not bend, we will not break, we will not yield, we will never give in. We will never give up. We will never, ever back down with your support. We will go on to victory, the likes of which no one has ever seen before. We will evict crooked Joe Biden from the White House, and we will take back our country on November 5th, 2024.
Yeah!
The great silent majority is rising like never before, and under our leadership, the forgotten man and woman will be forgotten no longer. We are one movement, one people, one family, and one glorious nation under God. We are a movement the likes of which this country and perhaps the world has never seen before. There has never been anything like this. And together we will make America powerful again.
Yes! Woo!
We will make America wealthy again. We will make America strong again. We will make America proud again. We will make America safe again. And we
will make America great again. Thank you very much.